Well, today we're going to be talking kind of about a different topic as we talk about is truth in danger. That's something that it feels as if truth is in danger because there's so many lies, there's so much confusion, there's so much mud in the water that it's hard to even decipher what is real, what is good, what is bad, what is who's on whose side. And I mean, there's so much division, so much rhetoric, so many things going on right now between all the social things, all the political concerns, medical concerns, down to religious concerns. I mean, just, you name it. There's all kinds of thoughts, perspectives, and nobody seems to be right. Nobody seems to be on the side of truth. And when you start to see from maybe even just a biblical perspective that no one really tells the truth. I mean, that's what the Bible says. I mean, Romans 3:4, it says all men are liars. You know, we're all liars. We all deceive ourselves. We all have a perspective that is twisted and perverted because we all have kind of a selfish bent to ourselves. And that's not easy to really believe. I mean, it's one thing to say. It's another thing to believe that we are all literally liars. We lie to ourselves. We deceive ourselves. I mean, our own senses deceive ourselves. When you hear your phone ring and then you check and it never did ring, you know, you carry your phone in your pocket and you feel like it vibrated and it didn't vibrate. I mean, there are things like that even our own senses deceive us because we're trying to make sense of things all the time, but we're trying to make sense through our ways. And so we start to actually look at others' lies as real lies, whereas our lies are just, convenient augments to reality because we need reality to be the way we want it to be or the way it should be. So we're going to say this or do this. And I mean, that's how life is going right now. And I'm not even sitting here going, well, guys, let me tell you, follow me. I'm the only one out here telling the truth. I mean, I have hallucinations all the time. That sounds terrible, but I mean, my phone rings and it didn't ring. I just said that, but I deceive myself. And the only reason I even know that is because the Bible says so. And it kind of makes me a little more aware when I suddenly realize I'm thinking my way down a line that is not true. And so how can I trust even my own sensibilities when I know I'm a liar? This is where it gets hard because in today's life and media and teachings and all the access we have to information, so much of information constantly changes and so much of it is misinformation. And we start to think danger's in trouble, it's in danger. Truth is just going to be destroyed. Well, that happened in Isaiah 59 where truth was nowhere to be found. It was stumbling in the streets, as it says. And the idea we could take from that is, truth is in danger, when actually the thrust of the passage isn't talking about truth being in danger, but rather those who won't receive the truth, those who won't accept the truth, those who won't bend to truth's reality, the will, and the truth of truth. Those are the ones who are actually in danger, because when you think about it, you can believe with all your heart and mind a lie. And, let's say you think you can fly just by jumping off a cliff and flapping your wings. Well, you can believe that all you want. And when you jump off that cliff, you can flap your wings and believe it all the way down to where you crash and die. Reality is going to win out. And we get so concerned going, I don't know. I got to contend for the truth. I got to push the truth. I got to make sure the truth wins out. But truth is truth. It already has won. It already is winning because truth will always win out. I mean, when you think about it, terms are always changing. We're always using terms in different ways, words in different ways, and words are being redefined every day. And I'm not saying this in a way to condemn people or to blast anyone, but rather just to draw our attention to it that, terms have been changing for centuries. I mean, they constantly are changing. And the thing we get concerned of is, well, that's not that word doesn't mean this, and that word means something else. And we get into arguments about the definitions of words rather than trying to understand what people are trying to convey through that new meaning of that new word. And we go, how do you keep this all straight? Truth is just destroyed. The reality is this, guys, that truth cannot be destroyed. You cannot augment reality by redefining it. In the notes today, you'll see, and I'll put them in the notes, but the idea that if you change terms doesn't change reality, and re-terming reality to try to redefine it, actually eventually whatever term you use will once again be defined by truth. That's why medical and psychology and politics and stuff, they're constantly coming up with new terms to describe issues that have already been coined and already been named and described and made words for, but we change the words because after a while the meaning people want to convey and try to deceive people with eventually falls apart because truth wins out. Such as, if you want to call oceans deserts now, you just, because that has a totally different meaning. When you say, oh, it's a desert, well, okay, for a short while, people might go, oh, okay, so, yeah, the Indian desert or the Pacific desert, or and it might confuse and deceive for a little while, but truth will win out, because eventually if you say desert enough times about an ocean and people start to call it the Pacific desert, well, great, that becomes just a new term, where desert once meant a dry land mass, basically. It would now start to convey a large body of water. And that's where we freak out going, oh, the truth is being destroyed. But really, no matter how much we try to augment truth with no new terms, new definitions, new things that we want to say, truth still wins out, because no matter how much you fight against truth, truth is truth. It cannot be changed. It cannot be augmented. We can only deceive ourselves for a time, but at some point, even in that deception, clarity starts to come out to where your new definition becomes the old definition, just with a new term. This is the strength of truth. This is the power of truth, because truth is God. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. You cannot change God. You cannot make him bend to your will. He will bend us to his will. He will win out. He already has won. And yet somehow we start to panic because truth is under assault and truth is being redefined and truth is this and this. And we start, instead of going, you know what? Gird up your loins, put on your big boy pants, and decide that, it's a storm we're in. It's a time of upheaval and things like that, that it makes it hard for us to be at peace. And yet when we recognize that God is not assaulted, God is not under attack, he is not almost going to lose and maybe hopefully win. You'll see through the study, hopefully through the questions and through the scriptures, I point out that really the people who are in trouble when truth becomes under assault is not the truth. Truth is never really in danger. What's in danger are the people who reject truth. That's what becomes the danger. That's what becomes the problem. And before you go down the line of going, well, yeah, so those people, it's how often do we reject truth and don't recognize how much trouble we cause in our own life and cause in the lives of others, because we've rejected portions of the truth or a lot of the truth or even just a small smidge, but boy, that it has its effects. How do we help people who reject the truth? Well, we got to live by the truth. We got to speak the truth in love. We can't argue. We can't complain. We need to hold out the word of life. We need to hold out that truth to them and gently instruct, allowing them to reject if they reject, because it's really between them and God. But we need to stand for the truth by living the truth. We need to stand for the truth by speaking the truth gently. We need to stand for the truth by trusting the truth. God does not depend on us. We depend on God. And that's where peace can come, when we start to recognize that truth is not in danger. And really, we're not in danger. The people who reject truth are really ultimately in danger. Yeah, we'll have sorrows. Yeah, we'll have troubles and discomfort and distress. But he says, take heart. He's already overcome the world. And what overcomes the world? Our faith. So our faith in the truth. So does truth need our help, or do we need truth's help? Should we be afraid for truth, or should we be seeking truth for ourselves? That's kind of the question that it comes down to. So Is truth in danger? No, truth is not in danger. Are we in danger? Not if you hold to the truth, because the truth sets you free. So, hey, I hope this is a blessing. I hope the study and the questions and the discussion you have is edifying and builds you up. But I'll be praying for you guys. Love you. Have a good one.